Hey guys, my name is Sean and I'll be talking about the differences between the Great Emperor Napoleon and the dictator of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. First off, let's get some background on both the dictators. First of all, let's start with Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte was born on August 15, 1769 in Ajaccio, which is the capital city of Corsica. When he was young, he lived poor with his family. He was a great dictator that knew how to deal with trouble, and he was very good at making his own strategies. Napoleon first started work in the military, and then by then he started going up from the ranks in the military while the French Revolution was happening. He then managed to conquer most of England's land when he became first consul in 1802. Then somewhere around 1804, Napoleon Bonaparte has become an emperor. He was shown as one of the biggest leaders during back then, and it really helped him and his army troops during wars, which was how he got most of Europe. One of his biggest achievements is the Napoleonic Code, which is still being used today. Now to Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un was born on January 8, somewhere between 1982 to 1984. Though it's been said that he was officially born in 1982, articles weren't really sure. During his school years, his classmates described him as someone who was very quiet during the class, but he had lots of sense of humor, yet others have said that he treated them horribly. He then became the dictator of North Korea when his father died when he was only 30 years old, which made him one of the youngest dictators out of the entire world. Now we're done with both the backgrounds of both dictators, we're gonna be going to the comparison. When it comes to publicity, Kim Jong-un always brought his wife to the public or even during work. But Napoleon tried to avoid his personal life through the public, which meant that he didn't put his wife through work. One of the problems about this is that he couldn't communicate with his wife because he traveled through different places to conquer or raid them. Now obviously, they are 200 years apart, and 200 years ago, there wasn't any type of phone messaging or calling, which caused a lot of problems for the two of them. Now one of the biggest difference between Napoleon and Kim Jong-un was the fact that Napoleon rose to power by his own work and gained his own power. Napoleon worked by rising within the ranks in the military, which led the Directory, something that led France ever since 1795, to make Napoleon lead. Napoleon made decisions to instead attack Egypt. The reason for this is because he thought the troops he was gonna lead weren't ready enough, and so they'll be able to get rid of the British trade routes that has a way through India. The attack against Egypt turned out great. It was successful, and he later then became first consul. Then he turned into, of course, an emperor soon after. In the meanwhile, Kim Jong-un rose to power because his father died due to a heart attack at the age of 69 years old, around December 17, 2011. Again, Kim Jong-un was only around 30 years old when he became a dictator, and he had barely any experience whatsoever, so he had a very unexpected, horrible start. Even though Napoleon became a dictator through all his hard work and worked through military school, Kim Jong-un too went to a military school after he was done doing school in Switzerland. He decided to go to a university with his brother, which is called Kim Il-sung Military University. Not much is said about this though, as far as I know. Now we'll be talking about their personalities. Napoleon is the type of person that wanted to be everything and to win, especially in wars with his troops. He was a very competitive person. And when I mean competitive, he always hated losing and would be very frustrated at times. Either way, he was very strong for himself and he'd do anything in order to get what he wants. He was someone that obviously never gave up easily. In the meanwhile, Kim Jong-un is someone that is very social, but he does want to have things his way most of the time, and he was a very confident person. He always loved to try new things if he was given an opportunity in so. I guess you could kind of say they kind of relate to the idea of them being competitive due to Kim's controlment and Napoleon wanting to control and things as such getting things he always wants. One of the other things they have in common is that they both try to keep their public and personal lives apart. Not much of Kim Jong-un is known outside of his public life, and Napoleon usually has a lot more information about his military life rather than his personal life. There is, of course, a lot of similarities between Napoleon Bonaparte and Kim Jong-un, but one of the biggest differences between them is that what they are known for. Kim Jong-un is known for his nuclear weapons, and that he and his government is very strict about their citizens' freedom. One of these ideas is North Koreans might not leave the country unless they have a proper, important reasoning for it. They can't have freedom of their own religion either. Say, if they were like a Christian, they'd be punished somehow like an execution. Kim Jong-un has public executions, by the way. One of the reasons for this is that so his own people will fear and understand what could happen to them if they were to do something against North Korean laws. One of the last things I'll be mentioning about Kim Jong-un citizens is that their internet is very limited. It's only available and can be used by Kim's official. On the other hand, Napoleon is known for making great strategies and is highly respected by his own comrades and soldiers because he treated them like a huge family. They of course didn't have nuclear weapons, and of course they didn't have an internet then. Though the Napoleonic Code did give his citizens to have their own freedom of religion, and he even removed the idea of your own wealth and how you were gonna live your life is based on what your family is born in, meaning everyone got an equal and fair chance to be more successful in life and reach his own level. Anyways, that's all the comparison I'll be doing for the great emperor, Napoleon Bonaparte, and one of the most feared dictators, Kim Jong-un. I hope you have enjoyed this video and have gained knowledge throughout the time. Since Kim Jong-un does kind of keep his personal life private, we don't get to see much about him. And since there's so much about Napoleon Bonaparte's military life, we didn't get to see much of his personal life either, but rather his military life and his own wars. I will be putting all my sources and my citation information down the description below.